workshop of the game.
So what magic are you guys looking for in this? And nuke, you cannot say nuke. I'm tired of hearing nuke. No nuke.
Well,
no ice 3.
Well,
that's it. That's off the table.
If I'm Maya, I want Fade, not nuke, because I have 2 red mages and possibly or 2 white mages and a red mage that might also learn it. So, yeah.
Actually, I didn't see what jkoper's party was because he created it last. Looks like.
So we have Lit 2 and Fast at level 1. Not bad at all. And
I always like to see Fast.
Ooh, Hell 3, Cure 2, and Life. Beautiful starting magic at level 1.
So Fast is going to be huge for jkoper because he has the 2 red hats. It's going to allow him to, cast Fast on his 2, we'll call him the fighter and the black belt.
Yep, indeed. Level 1 Fast is going to guarantee you that you can fast your attackers on every single fiend down in TOFR. You don't need to sweat if you're going to have enough fast charges if it's like level 5 or something like that. You could just... You're a boss, you're going to get fasted by both of my fighters. And we see Maya taking a little bit of an early grind, using that guaranteed first encounter 5 imp first strike in order to get a little bit extra money to buy all the spells for them hats. And actually it looks like we're going to see everybody taking sort of that strategy. Nobody making a direct beeline for Garland, as we've seen become somewhat popular in the last couple of races. Actually, I stand corrected. jkoper with the beeline to Garland gets rewarded for 26,000 gold out of the first chest.
Yeah, that turns out to be a lucky call because he's got all the money he needs now, at least for the early part. And
actually, now that we see jkoper's line up with the double red mage, that actually has seemed to be kind of the symbol
Down
of
goes black belt.
Ooh. Well, it's all about them red mages right now, because they're the ones that are carrying all the Lit 2s and the Hell 3s to get through here, so if they can stay alive, that's all you need. Oh my god, gold... Whoo! Ice Blue! Hooking the runners up with all of the stuff you want early. The katana's gonna be about another 25,000 or so gold, probably. A gold bracelet for free is never gonna be something to scoff at. And of course, the actual just raw 26,000 gold out of the first chest. Ice Blue giving me crap for saying the spell as it's properly typed in the game, sir. I'm well aware that it's heal 3. Oh, buttering them up. Okay, so Ice Blue's calling that this seed's gonna get hairy down the line. You heard it here first.
And jkoper builds a bridge and picks up the loot.
Yep. As I was trying to make the point of before we started seeing the chest getting checked, it does seem in these round 1 flags that anytime there's a nice area spell in the level 1 black magic, and the teams that have the double reds will tend to just book it straight for Garland and not take a little bit of time to maybe grind an extra fight or 2 outside of Cornelia in order to get a little bit of extra money to stock up for the Garland fight.
And jkoper is going to pick up the spells that he missed before heading across the bridge.
Yep. What was the second spot white magic that's red mage locked out of the 3 decent ones that they had?
It's harm, right? In the vanilla game. I didn't see which ones were in the shop.
Yeah, Life was in the 3rd spot, so Life is learnable by red mages for sure. And jkoper's red mage had Heal 3. Screw you, Ice Blue. So yeah, the Cure whatever that was in the 2nd spot, probably going to be overshadowed by the Heal spell. Cure 2 as it's being pointed out in chat. So yeah, Cure 2 strictly worse than Heal 3, so gonna be more than happy to just ignore that.
So I believe jkoper's team translates to I am a 3.
Or I am 1-3.
Eins is 1. Fun fact.
That's true.
My
It's been a long time
1 year
since
of German.
left.
Also brushing up on it.
So is he trying to say that he's 13?
No, he is a 3.
Oh, 3, okay.
We'll have to ask him when he gets in to have a little bit of fun with him. But definitely, just a little fun fact. I saw that he was kind of doing that to Maya's name.
Oh yeah, you're right. It is definitely the first 2 people are part of Maya's name.
No, but Ishbin is I am.
Okay.
And Drai is 3.
So Artea is saying that it's play on the 3rd match of the series plus Maya.
Which would make sense. And sorry, chat, we are very much known to kind of go off topic with these things because, hey, let's have a little bit of fun. We're seeing Shy goes up to Matoya's cave and finds a little heel helmet.
Not too important. Definitely helpful for this stage, but something that if I had a tent to save before going up to Matoya, I probably would just reset away from. Not too critical. It's not going to make or break your race. And we got level 2 magic check for jkoper with Ice 3 and Temper.
Very nice.
Very
black
nice
magic.
pickups for the double red team.
Not much good in the white magic shop. There was a heal 2.
I missed it. Heal 2, not bad, but with jkoper having superior options for his red mages, I don't think we're going to see a heal 2 pickup. Definitely will not be bad for Maya, though, so he'll just have a lot of party-wide healing.
To answer the question, was it Zwei last time? I am not positive. I do remember the first match was I am victorious when it was translated from German to English.
And Kador pointing out in chat that the double red mage is definitely paying off for jkoper early here. Fast at level 1, temper at level 2, and both also having a nice multi-target spell, with the level 2 being Ice 3, which will be ever so critical when we get to the waters later on in the game that are weak to that. Very, very good for him.
Absolutely. He'll just need to make sure to save enough charges to use fast in the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Artea, life was level 1. It's not red mage locked. They should have it.
And there's a heal potion in a shop.
Alright, so moderate prices here so far. Not too bad. Definitely not going to be upset to see these kind of prices. You can get your heal potions out of the way early. Get plenty of tents and cabins for save skipping encounters. Future Sight, you are correct. Life was in the level 1 slot 3, so red mage, okay.
We have a very expensive steel armor in the shop.
And notably, relatively affordable silver bracers, which are one of the better early game defensive equipments that you can find for a party of mages. Of course, slightly overshadowed by that free gold bracelet that they found up in the Temple of Fiends.
So it looks like the Shy and Green are on the same path and basically hitting the pirates at the same time, as well as Maya and Koper are doing the same thing, but Maya just getting his shopping done right now.
X-Ice, I think he meant the Cave of Fiends.
Or Temple of Fiends Cave revisited 3 times over?
Yeah, it's definitely the Fiend Cave, because as I've apparently learned, that it is the Earth Cave, the Fire Cave, the Water Cave, and the Wind Cave.
What
And
about
then,
the Heart
of
Cave?
course, the Fiend Cave.
Yes, it's the Air Cave, as Artea pointed out. And the Desert Cave.
Oh yeah, the desert cave, yep, and the waterfall cave. Matoya's cave.
Did the caves combine to make Captain Planet?
Maybe if you try hard and believe in yourself. So we are still looking for the TNT here. Now it is going to be time that we see... Alright, so Maya's going to go with setting a nice little tent up in case the dwarves are indeed not actually lazy this time, and the TNT is in everybody's favorite ambush cave.
Marlin K, yes, they are running the same seed, all of them, to make your heads not go kaboom and our heads not go kaboom on a Friday night.
And interesting to note here, so jkoper's save point that he anchored himself to is much closer to the dock for the dwarves than Maya's, and that's going to definitely end up costing jkoper, 15 to 30 seconds and maybe even an extra encounter, as Maya finds absolutely nothing in the dwarf cave and immediately resets away to head down to Elfland and everybody's favorite required dungeon in the game, Ambush Cave.
Oh, I like that name, Ambush Cave.
I mean, I don't like the name because, unfortunately, it's true.
Right, it's very descriptive.
Oh, very weird. I thought I saw jkoper reset and start, right outside of the dwarves. Maybe that was getting out of an encounter. It does seem like jkoper's stream is maybe a little stuttery at times.
And there's Harm 3, Cure 3, Fear, and Wall. So Wall is a good pickup here. And Harm 3 is...
I would say Harm 3 and Wall are huge pickups.
Harm 3, definitely nothing to be upset about when you know that you have to head over to the Ambush Cave, which is generally populated with a lot of undead and going to be a very useful spell to have over there.
And what do we have for black magic? We got Ice 2 and Saber, and that's about it.
Saber maybe going to be alright for Maya, as the party composition will set the Red Hat to be the secondary physical attacker should we get to that stage of the game.
Right.
Chat is turning everything into whatever they want now. We got Jiggly Saint going Lufia on us and making everything into a tower. So we got the Tower of Marsh. I like that name too.
And for level 4, we have Pure, which is actually normally a level 4 spell.
And the Taster's Choice of instant death spells for the Black Mage.
Indeed.
So, level 4 looking like real booty. I saw, who was it? Purity the cat in chat saying Elfland's got some serious trash. I believe everything is serious trash in Elfland with the exception of that bottle.
That's right, we've located the bottle early in this seed.
Yep, and it is maximum price, so
That's
going to be, going to be a little annoying. Kador, yes, that was the bottle in the Elfland item shop. Everything else in Elfland could probably be done mostly without, but not the bottle. And Maya finding the Aegis shield up in the top floor of Ambush Cave.
So, chat, what chest in Marsh Cave do you either think it will be in, or do you want to see in the TNT be?
Come on, chat. Let's see what chest is the crown in, because we're gonna go crown required with TNT locked behind some god-awful location.
Excise predicting crown with the wizards.
So vanilla crown would be interesting. What kind of randomizer is that?
It's Fred's fault, I'm telling you.
Hey, things can be found in vanilla. Just turn on some Link to the Past, and the odds are out there at some point that it happens.
Interesting.
Maya
So,
resetting.
Ben
Yeah.
throws away the ice sword. Oh, but maybe he's gonna pick it up again on the way down here.
oh yeah,
There's
that's
the
right.
chest.
Yep, 3 of the chests up in the top floor of Marsh are indeed linked. I do not know which are linked to which,
I
but
don't either.
also threw away the Aegis shield too. So definitely a viable option that he might be just looking to pick up the ice sword and the Aegis shield on the way down here, rather than walking his way back out from the top, as the runners are indeed lacking exit and warp right now.
It looks like he's farther along than any of the other runners so far.
Yes, very much so. Definitely finished checking the first floor before anybody else. Oh my god, I was gonna say, after we just saw jkoper go into that menu there once he picked up the ice sword, pondering his life as he was on solo black belt, can't really imagine that you don't reset there. And chat pointing out that we had death touch scorpions, so not going to be a fun time down in this cave with the like scorpions are already annoying because they hit like trucks for this stage of the game, but they also just might ignore your health too and kill you.
Yeah, and they get multiple hits too, so they're more likely to death touch you. jkoper getting trolled by a bat.
Ooh. Maya finds the crown in the very first room of the bottom of Marsh, going to opt to check the remaining basement of Marsh Cave for anything else.
He's going to equip his giant sword.
And we're going to find our first encounter, find out what is hiding behind the wizards.
Oh, and the
That's
full-size pack for Maya. And notable is that, actually, he does have Lit 2 on the Red Mage, Lit being the one element that wizards do indeed not resist. Definitely going to be pretty critical here.
jkoper picking himself up a pro cape, which is a nice early find for mages.
Indeed.
Looks like between the heal and then just the pure physical damage of the fighter, he may be able to survive this. Little unlucky with the fighter going to attack the one that is no longer there, though.
And jkoper finding the crown in the other of the linked chest. So, what do you guys prefer on your route down through the bottom of Marsh Cave here? Ever since I kind of got the 2 linked chests together, actually, in my head, I don't even stop at the first room at all. I just check both in that second room over, since it's linked anyways.
Yeah, I find the link chests in Marsh Cave to just be entirely confusing.
That's the only one I know, is that when you're on that bottom 4x4 grid of rooms, the first room right by the stairs there is linked to the right of the 2 chests in the second row, second one in.
Oh, and ichbinmiah being rewarded for that wizard battle with a heal potion.
Oh, baby. I'm sure he could not have lived life without it. And then Maya running into the Rururus. Or as some other people would know these ones as the world record wolves.
Is everybody going after the wizards? I see Shyleasia going after them. GreenCleric is going after them.
Yep, at this stage, a lot of it seems to be popular opinion that if you have to end up in Marsh Cave, you're better off clearing everything that's not key locked your first time here, so that you can you basically make the probability of an item being here 3 chests versus anything else you have to check in the rest of the game. Whereas if you leave the bottom, you're looking at something like 9 or so left, and then you actually have to consider Marsh a real probability.
Fair enough. It looks like jkoper skipped the wizard chest. He's the only one to do so, so if he's missing something later on, he'll be wondering.
Yeah, he will be wondering slightly more than the rest of the runners, but with it only being 1 additional chest past the key lock, not too big of a sweat. And going to see the first fight against good old Astos. You do pretty much at this stage of the game expect one of your characters to start tanking the floor right there from Astos' rub spell, which is very high probability to happen on the first turn, and the fighter will go down.
So the nice thing about this is, with the early crown, they're going to be able to check a lot of free chests, so it will be a little bit nice to see if they have a higher statistic, a higher chance of getting some, well-needed either armor or weapons, or something that will possibly further them, getting them closer to go mode.
Indeed. You're pretty much looking at, just in your natural routing of what you're going to have to do pretty much in the early game anyways, getting 8 more chests in Dwarf Cave and 10 between the Elf and Cornelia Castle, so definitely just a nice extra trove to have access to early without being really out of the way at all.
jkoper running into a pack of grrr wolves.
Yep, the grape wolves happen to be poisonous, so not too good to munch on this seed. I'm convinced that the GR for all of the enemies that have it's really just grape flavor.
Even the sharks that are white? Are they grape sharks?
Yeah, white grapes.
Okay, that's fair enough. I was drinking white wine earlier, so it makes sense.
And you got the Grogers, and they're like greenish, so there's green grapes. Everything's just grape flavored. I'm convinced of it.
This is definitely one of my childhood favorites. I have a memory of a sleepover with some friends when we were all, I don't know, 12 or 13, and they were about to move out of state, and so we had like one last party, and we played Final Fantasy all night long. And he called him George instead of Groger.
Fair enough. And we see jkoper taking the crystal to the blind witch Matoya in order to trade the crystal for the dankest herb. I don't know where you come from, but trading crystal for herb, usually a downgrade, apparently not in Final Fantasy, it's actually an upgrade. Pixel8me in chat asking, what does party order do? So there are a couple things that party order does. First off, the level and luck stat of the first member of your party determines the probability of getting ambushed or getting the preemptive strike on the enemy. And then, as Almacia points out in chat, the chances for single target attacks and abilities to hit a slot going down from top to bottom is 4 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 1 out of 8, 1 out of 8.
Yeah, it's basically a coin flip going down the row. Coin flip to see if you hit the first guy, then a coin flip to see if you hit the second guy.
Yep, so what you did see there with that brief party member switch was effectively attempting to hide, since Astos' main first turn action is going to be rub. You want to try and hide your high damage dealing people down in the bottom of your party, since you probably need them to kill Astos easily in the absence of Nuke and Fade so far in this series, in this race.
So, Introper, for those who are relatively new, possibly catching this for the first time, do you mind covering what the round 1 flags are that we have?
Oh, well, that would require me to know what the round 1 flags are that we have. So let's see. If the seed's posted somewhere.
Sorry to throw
On the
you on the
tournament
spot.
page.
No, that's alright.
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, go for it. I can explain what they do. I just don't know what they actually...
Yes. Why don't we
Alright.
take that?
Alright, so first off, what is randomized in our round 1 flags? The treasure chests in the game are randomized. Shop contents are randomized. This but the magic shops, what is not randomized about them is that you will still find level 1 magic in Cornelia, you will still find level 2 magic in Provoca, and the mages will still be able to learn the same spells by slot as they were in vanilla. So, for instance, red mages can only learn white magic level 1 that is in the 1st and 3rd spots, whereas a white mage can learn all 4 at the beginning of the game. That still holds true, so if you happen to find, say, Fade in the 2nd spot of level 1 white magic, your red mage will unfortunately not have access to it. The RNG table is not shuffled, so later on, mostly when we get to the Tower of Fiends Revisited, we will definitely see jkoper and Maya do the RNG manipulation to avoid the terrible unrunnables that come with TOFR. And then enemy stat randomization is each stat is individually randomized with a value of between 83% and 120%. Shop prices are between 50 and 200%. And EXP is boosted by a rate of multiplier of 5 and then an additional 500 added on top of that. And then all of our conveniences and bug fixes that go along with the game are in place, with the exceptions that the weapon elementals and weapon crit rates are not fixed quite yet.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I knew there was one that wasn't enabled, and that's it. Oh, jkoper finding the floater in the dwarf cave.
Definitely a nice find this early. Gonna be... Oh, and the slab!
And the slab, nice.
Wow! So we are in
Thor hammer.
go mode. That is go mode, ladies and gentlemen. Because... well, I mean, jkoper actually still looking for the TNT, ironically. But we will be in go mode as soon as the canal is blown up, as we have everything that we need to beat the game. However, you will still more than likely see runners checking chests, as they are still going to be lacking maybe some weapons for their fighters, or a ribbon or two, anything else that they might need.
Class changes spells are locked.
Yep, might be looking for that tail if something ends up being locked. But we have level 1 life that's on red and white mages, and we have level 1 fast and level 2 temper. What are you looking for? Maybe life 2 is about it? Or
Cure 4?
Yeah, Cure 4. They don't have Nuke or Fade yet, right? I mean, I know they have Ice 3.
Yeah, no
I'd
nuke or fade
definitely
yet.
say nuke or fade would be one that they'd want to look for too. Some heavy multiple target spell, that way they can get through those unrunnable encounters.
Mm-hmm. Ice
We
3
got,
is great to have, though, for those water encounters.
That
Very
definitely is
true.
an underrated spell. And we got, I don't remember anyone else going,
Ah,
a
there it
green
is.
cleric finding the TNT.
Yep, so Tower of Fiends TNT, this seed. Sometimes one of the locations that tends to get skipped before, say, Marsh Cave and Northwest Castle, since they're kind of next to each other and they both have 3, but does look like we have Maya about to find the TNT, Koper not too far behind, and Shyleasia also not too far behind, so thankfully nobody making the gamble of going back down to Northwest Castle or Marsh Cave with the key.
So, Introper, what do you think about going to Dwarf Cave before, in this instance, instead of hitting there last, knowing that it would have been one of the last places to check, or before you would go to Marsh Cave? What would you have done?
I always hit up Matoya's Cave as early as possible and Dwarf Cave as early as possible, just because they're free. And, you know, obviously Ambush Cave is not a place that you want to head to if you don't have to, absolutely. So,
And though, with the, like, looking for the TNT post-crown, like, what is your routing like?
Yeah, after you've already been to the Marsh Cave. I think I would probably hit Canaria first, and then hit the Temple of Fiends, or I'm sorry, the Cave of Fiends.
I do think I agree there. I would much rather go Elf Castle, then Cornelia Castle, then the Cave of Fiends, and then head up to the Dwarf Cave, because I've checked everything that's not, God, I have to head back to Awful Land again with the key.
Yeah, I suppose you could make the argument that if the TNT is being hidden by the dwarves in their own cave, then, you know, you could just go straight from there and not have to hit Corneria at all. But I think you'd want to hit Corneria anyway, just because they're free.
No, definitely.
Indeed.
I agree with you, where you're able to check these things beforehand, especially instead of having to double back and kind of taking that gamble. Obviously, making Marsh Cave revisited the last thing you'd want to do, but yeah, going to the Dwarf Cave before you do Marsh, and those are your last 2.
I have to admit, my strategies are going to be a lot more conservative than most of the runners, because I'm just not that experienced a speedrunner in this game. As you know, despite having an encyclopedic knowledge from having programmed it, I just haven't run it that many times.
Don't worry, I always make the joke that you could beat me because I like to talk to the mermaids to try and get their numbers. I still have yet to do that. And also, I will continuously talk to townfolk if they get in my way, because why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. So do you guys think that we're going to see any risk when the runners get the floater, get the airship? Or do you think they're just going to stick to the standard, go volcano, go to ice, or go to waterfall, go to sea shrine, you know, work that? Or do you think we're going to see a ordeals or ice cave visit?
I mean, obviously, the Zardia Isles is your first target because free. But after that,
I'm definitely thinking like just taking a shot. We're excluding the standard ones.
Okay.
We're kind of throwing something against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Honestly, with this super early go mode, I can really only imagine just like go volcano first. If you want to grind, there's your grind spot.
Yep.
There's also still 30 chests to maybe find a ribbon or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to hit the treasure trove room almost immediately. And if you haven't found a ribbon there or on Cardia Islands, then it gets a little more interesting, because you really do want at least one ribbon.
Yeah, you want one ribbon if you're a party that's going to overlevel a black belt. You want 2, arguably, otherwise.
Yeah.
Because you usually need to keep somebody else alive as well as your physical attacker.
So to answer Surf and Ninja, what is the force classes? We have this on a round 1 seed. So at this time, all 4 racers do not have a force class. But let's see, chat. What would your force class be? What class do you want to see when we have to have forced party members? And we're seeing some thieves.
Immediately, thief.
So I would have to agree. My heart was broken as soon as I figured out that thief are basically useless when it comes to this. I always had one there.
Yeah, I've tried to make them a little more useful by fixing the run bug, but, you know, there's really only so much you can do.
Exit being a spell for level 6. My apologies.
Oh,
Continue.
no problem. Yeah, even when you enable the weapon fixes, then Thief gets even just slightly better because he can use Katana, which has a super high crit rate. But other than that, there's just not that much good about Thief. And that still requires you to have found the tail to do the class change.
No, definitely. The katana was always something I looked forward to when I was running this game growing up. Because, well, who doesn't want someone that's sitting in pajamas? Using a huge sword.
The sprite for the katana is very strange in the game. It looks like a tiny little knife.
Yes, and I always thought it was a tiny little knife until I till Google became a thing. Yes, Google. That thing that came around, 20 years after this game? So, what chat is going to see on shyleasia's screen is Shy is going to get the canoe, and you're like, wait, hold on a minute. He hasn't defeated the Earth Fiend. Why is he able to do that? Can you kind of go behind the nuts and the bolts of this, Untroper, to tell us how you did that and kind of the cool features that can happen?
Yeah, so, and this isn't even something I was aware of because you don't normally, I mean, I guess you could go to Crescent Island early, but if you're playing the game vanilla, you kind of can stick to Melman, go through the Earth Cave, and then head over to Crescent Lake. But basically, he won't give you the canoe without having killed the Earth Fiend. And this feature it wasn't an idea of mine until the issue with Sarda came up. And that issue was that in the vanilla game, you go through the Earth Cave, you fight the vampire, you defeat the vampire, and then behind him is a treasure chest that contains the ruby, which lets you go through the Titan's Tunnel, which lets you get to Sarda, and then he gives you the rod. But in Randomizer, you can get the floater early, which lets you just fly straight to Sarda's cave. And he won't give you the rod, even though, you think he should. And that's because you have to have killed the vampire in order for the game code to recognize that Sarda will give you the rod. And so that was one of those things where, even though it's not possible to get to Sarda in the vanilla game without having killed the vampire, they still have a check in there for it. There's a number of things like that in the game, and when I found the thing with Sarda, I thought, oh well, we need to fix this. And once I did that, of course, also getting early canoe without killing the Earth Fiend just basically opens up a lot more interesting paths that the player can take.
No, definitely. I was always wondering that, and I heard that there potentially is a soft lock that if you try to bypass having to save Princess Sarah, that there's a soft lock that happens with the bridge.
With the bridge? That's not something I'm aware of, actually.
Okay, I don't know. I remember I was sitting in Geyer's stream one day, and I heard him say something about if that the game checks for an early bridge.
Huh. That's interesting. That's something I'll have to look into.
So I definitely encourage you to try to break the game. I always enjoy seeing that.
RTA is saying that if you change the text on the bridge, that it's a soft lock because it has a checksum. to make sure you don't change the name of the programmer.
That's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, and that will bite me because I do plan to change that text, so I'm gonna have to find the checksum code and take it out.
Please do, and do not tell any of us when it happens, because we normally typically just mash A, and have like a if you can, just have it be a Easter egg to where something cool is.
Oh, absolutely. Zardia is asking a question: what can we expect for version 1.4.5? And I can actually answer that definitively because I've already created version 1.4.5. And I released it and then unreleased it because I don't want to, cause confusion with people playing two different versions of the randomizer in the tournament. But that'll be released, as soon as the tournament's over. And the only change is that when you shuffle enemy spells and skills, there are some enemies that have the same skill in their script repeated over and over again, and it's the same as them only having one skill, but they end up having 4 of them, and because there are 4 of them in the list, those skills can get distributed to 4 different enemies, potentially. And the sandworm has 4 instances of crack, and the iron golem has 4 instances of toxic, and I decided that was just a little too crazy for players to have to deal with so many different enemies having crack and toxic. So I tried to nerf those, but I was off by 1, so there's a bug in the randomizer where those things don't get nerfed. So that's the only thing that changes in 1.4.5 is that the nerfs are properly applied, and you only get 2 instances of crack and 2 instances of toxic in the normal enemy pool.
Alright, and just an update for the race so far. I did notice Purity pointed out in chat. White mages have access to exit at level 6, so potentially a little bit of an advantage for Maya over jkoper. And Shy and GreenCleric so far, and anybody else who has been at the treasure trove in the volcano, has successfully found the adamant for if they have a knight.
Excellent.
And for anybody out there who may have any kind of sensitivity to blinking, flashing lights at all, please avert your eyes for the next 5 to 10 minutes, as the players will be running through the volcano. There will be lots of screen flashing, as they would much rather take 1 damage per step than potentially getting encounters. So you will see lots of white flashing across all 4 screens for the next 5 or 10 minutes.
So let's just take a second right now and let the chat know. Please definitely give our runners a follow. They are busting their tails running these games. So let's see some love out there for our runners, as well as, you know what? Give Entroper a follow. He busts his tail. He does a lot for us. He is the mastermind behind this game. The randomizer, that is.
I do appreciate
Indeed,
that.
and please also make sure to give good ol' Master Feasel a follow for getting speed gaming set up and allowing us to bring our content to you through this great channel. That man works seemingly 24/7, fueled by nothing but dreams and corn dogs. So please make sure to give Feasel some love as well.
So it looks like we have stun between either the giant or the iguana. Do you guys think we're going to see any power leveling as jkoper is approaching the Agmas? I know we're seeing Shy do the power leveling.
It's an interesting question. Not all 4. 3 of the 4 runners do have a black belt, which is the most common class for power leveling, just because of how absurdly powerful they get at high levels. But ichbin has all mages except a fighter, so he may not need to grind as much.
Yep, Maya's composition is typically the kind of comp that you throw together when you are looking to not grind at all and get a little bit of a time advantage on your opponent by not grinding. The caveat there is that you are extremely equipment dependent on that fighter. And we did find adamant, so if Maya can at least secure himself the tail, not going to be...
Oh, ribbon found. Sorry to interrupt, and sorry about the eardrums, everyone, but we have a ribbon on green side.
Yep, indeed. That, I believe, is the first ribbon of the run so far for these runners.
As well as give Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 a follow, because, well, that also goes to help out, and, thank them very much. As well as I see some love out there for Ace, Bill, Cal, and Dan. I believe it should be Ace, Bill, Cal, and Dead when it comes to speed runs.
Good old Dirt Nap Dan doing his job. Gotta watch that ground to make sure it doesn't attack your teammates. So we do indeed have the good old tried and true Agama grind. I do know I've seen some comments in previous races about can't the runners find a new, different grind location, and the truth of the matter is this is round 1 flags, and we have vanilla scripts, so for EXP to threat ratio, honestly, the Agama just doesn't come close to having competition. However, from round 2 and on, you will see racers maybe grinding the Blue Dragon or the Eye or all those other places, as if that spike tile happened to not roll anything particularly threatening, it might be a better decision. Ice Blue, why do all the runners run around the fire tiles on the 2nd floor? The tiles in front of the doors are safe squares.
That's true. The tile in front of the door has to have a separate flag set from a normal floor tile, and that flag tells the game to close the door and to hide the rooms. So that's why, if you're wondering why those are safe squares, that is the reason.
Looks like there's a question directly for you, Entroper. Is there any way to add an inner item counter or something else to place in the blank spot over your first character while in battle?
Over the... Oh, I see. The top row there in the battle screen. There is a way, but I'm not super great at NES assembly. I'm pretty decent at reading it, and actually... somebody named Dish from Slick Productions has created a very good disassembly of the Final Fantasy I ROM, and that's enabled a lot of the hacks that I've put in. So huge thanks to him for that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things are possible, but the FF1 ROM is pretty dense in terms of its code. There's not a lot of room for additional code, unless you start removing features from it, and a lot of people do that with various hacks. But yeah, it's easy to shuffle data around and modify things like that, but it's hard to actually write new code. So there is a little tiny bit of new code in the ROM, or in the randomizer rather, but not very much of it.
So what was the biggest roadblock that you encountered as you were going through and creating the randomizer?
Biggest roadblock, I think the hardest thing to do has been to fix the bugs in the game. And I say hardest, there's two things about it. One is that a lot of people have already submitted patches to fix these bugs, and that's, of course, hugely helpful if I can just use those patches. But another thing is that I have to make sure that all the various patches, that they don't have any side effects that are weird, and that they do only exactly what I want them to do, and that they don't interfere with each other. So if you just start patching parts of the ROM code, and one patch has moved code around, and then the other patch tries to edit that code, but it's in a different place, and they're not going to work together. So that's been the most challenging thing so far, is to fix the bugs in the original game without breaking a lot of stuff.
Looks like we had another kind of follow-up question. For us non-programmers and we'll say, code-savvy people, is there memory constraints? I know you just mentioned it. What are the memory constraints that you have when you're playing with the ROM?
I don't know 100% of the technical issues, but I do know that the size of the ROM, I think, is 256K, which can technically be expanded, but I think you have to use a different ROM mapper, because there are various different mappers, which are actually hardware mappers that were used in the cartridges to tell the system where everything is in memory. And the other limitation is that code is stored in different banks, and you have to switch banks in order to use different parts of code. So if you end up moving code to a different bank, then you have to write things differently. You can't just move the code, you have to move it and then, write code to switch banks when you want to call that code. So I don't know 100% about how the banks work. That's an area that I'm weak on in terms of assembly programming for the NES.
Oh no, that's nothing to. So that would be probably similar to what we see with the PlayStation. The PlayStation, I think, is portable. How there's that glitch there that you're able to unequip or re-equipped weapons or armor and glitch in weapons. Could that be something that would be caused by code potentially, or am I just kind of looking into things too much?
That's probably less of a technical limitation, more of just, a bug in the game, of something that they didn't account for.
Okay. Again, I do apologize. I do say thank you, because this has basically turned into us watching the 4 speedrunners as they're grinding, but also kind of doing Antroper's interview.
Sure, no problem.
Indeed, here we're going to see shyleasia take the first attempt at Carrie's life. And we also see jkoper down to the solo black belt grind for maximum efficiency. Probably going to be seeing jkoper go to somewhere around level 30 to 32. Maybe takes the Edgeworth route and goes all the way up to 40. And really just walks his way through the rest of the game. Only time will tell for that in the next maybe 4 to 5 minutes. And we're going to see Carrie here up in the top left. And the bottom.
Definitely hit on it. Definitely join our Discord. We do love to talk, work with new randomizer, work with new runners, expand the randomizer community. As you can tell, we're very warm, welcoming. We're very blessed, very thankful to have one of the lead designer in here with us. He is very active on the Discord chat, as well as many of our runners, as well as Azrael. So definitely join us. We want to grow this community, want to make it fun. We are one of the, well, not the newer, but we're still growing.
Do we know if jkoper picked up that ribbon?
I
believe he did.
Sure.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. I just saw it in the equipment screen.
Okay. I'm wondering...
So yeah, I'm pretty sure jkoper is just gonna go straight with go mode as soon as he's got his black belt leveled.
Very possible.
Which would make sense, because at this point what can happen is once he gets up to a certain level, he can just start one-shotting people, especially with the 2 red mages that have fast.
Yep. Yeah, and with them having, early big area of effect spells for backup, then he's just going to rampage through the rest of the game.
As we did mention, Maya does have some pretty decent gear for that fighter set up in place if he can find the tail. And that would pay off in exchange for not grinding here.
Yes, we have Shy and GreenCleric basically right on the same path at this point. Looks like they may both be going to get the bottle or some variants of that.
Bottle's in Elfland.
Yeah, I think he's going for heal potions, because...
Heals.
And we are going to see Shy go visit Titan's Cave and pick up the rod from Sarda, so maybe heading for Earth Cave second?
Now, it definitely be a quick clear, especially if you're not checking chest. It'll allow you to not go into dungeons that you would be overwhelmed with. You know, gain a couple levels and then just go power through this.
For a moment, I thought Shy was going to head to the rumpus room.
What's in all those bottles, chat? Or guys, what do you think are in those bottles that the old man in the cave has?
I mean, it can only be one thing. He's a lonely old man in a cave locked behind some drug-addicted Titan. I mean, what else would you be doing with your life? It's a cave. You don't need a bathroom. What year is this, Joker? What year is this?
Are you saying Sarda has set a trap for Link in the rumpus room? Is that what that is?
Maybe.
And congratulations, for you just learned on Shy's side how to speak a different language in about 5 seconds.
Dr. Un, definitely the master of learn a language in 5 seconds, as Shy has now learned the language of the Toka partiers. And does look like Shy will opt for Earth Cave second. Did see Shy stop off at Melman, not only to get the slab translated, but to also pick up some extra spells, as Cure 4 was in level 5, so definitely not too bad to pick up. Interesting to note, though, that Cure 4 will be not Red Wizard available, so sadly...
So we have Feasel in the chat. I do want to just ask you straight out, Feasel, when do we get you to commentate on one of these races? I think the entire community would love to hear, your opinion in your voice when it comes to one of your most well-known games. I say the dream is still alive, having Feasel and Geyer announce one of these races.
I think we should get them in to maybe commentate the finals. That would be a treat.
I know, it's still a dream, Feasel. Sorry to throw you on the spot. It still can be a dream.
I see someone's petitioning me to change the name of Grover to George.
Is that possible? Please tell me it is.
Yeah, actually, straight up text changes, especially if they're the same number of characters, are quite easy to change.
So the dream of world record Rurus is available?
Oh god, all the wolves can just be Ruru. That's awesome.
So what does it need to be? Ruru, Gurwu, Ruru. I can't even say it.
Where Ruru?
Ruru.
Fur Ruru.
Oh, Fur Ruru, of course. The furry wolves.
Looks like Will Bloodworth has already helped us out right there, guys.
Yeah, after the more interesting features on the list come the fun % features, and that can include things like changing names, changing palettes, all kinds of good stuff.
Oh no, definitely. As I said, this is it's just the dreams, and it's fun to have you here helping, and to just kind of throw these random things your way.
And we do see everybody in Earth Cave. Maya already having defeated the undefeatable vampire. And jkoper still punching poor sad little lizards in the face repeatedly.
Well, X-Ice, you gotta have blue hair, right?
Alright, so we have, will
I
we
heard that
see
somewhere.
my suggestion of a fun % flag replace all item names with thing? That purity, that could be very, very dangerous as, how are we supposed to know if we're in go mode or not if everything just is called thing?
Actually, I may have to put in a check when I randomize the palettes and make sure that the mages can't become blue. We wouldn't want people thinking there are blue mages in Final Fantasy 1.
Blue mages in Final Fantasy 1 seem like they might be broke. There's a lot of pretty powerful enemy skills that you could gain access to.
Yeah, that would be pretty great. Especially, you could just go to Tiamat and learn like all the dragon breaths all at once.
No, I'm just gonna farm Wormec and learn nuclear. That's the real strat there.
You gotta survive the battle though, and life doesn't work in battle in Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah, but I mean, just go check out the clip on my channel. Wormec is made of paper.
So really nice pickup that you're going to see with the runners going to be able to pick up a white shirt. What that's going to allow is them to cast Invis 2 on their party, which makes them harder to hit.
I really like this, seeing everyone else going for the treasure chest still, even though technically they're in go mode, and jkoper is still just wailing away on these Agamas, and you know he's not going to be checking chests.
Yeah, he has this one ribbon, that's all he really cares about. I think what it's coming down to is that even though Shy and GreenCleric have a black belt, it's not hyper grinded like jkoper's is. So you are kind of still in a situation where you're going to need two people to make it through the TOFR and later portions of the game.
1100
Exactly.
he just hit for.
Yeah, it looks like jkoper's making a break for it now. He's going to go after carry.
Did anybody catch exactly what level he was at? It looked like I saw 41?
Somewhere around
41,
there. He's got
yep.
Over 800 hit points, so...
Yep, so, jkoper's black belt has become One Punch Man. And, we will see that for the rest of the boss fights.
We're probably not going to see jkoper go into the armor screen at all, because if he does, it could change some of the protection defensive stats that happen with the black belt.
Yep, indeed. At this point, you do not want to enter that screen if you can help it, because it will reset your defense to the sum of your equipped gear, which I believe is probably just a ribbon for a whopping 1 absorb. And if you can avoid that, you can manage to never drop your defense back down and have a very respectable defense value on that black belt. And does look like we might actually be seeing jkoper go with the solo black belt strategy.
Is he going for the bottle now? He must
Yep,
be.
it does look like it's a run for the bottle here.
The bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Well, I mean, jkoper does not have access to exit or warp. So he's not going to be losing any time on, like, exiting Waterfall by not having his mages up. We might only see his mages come back on the TOFR dive, where you might want to try to get a fast off for punching any of the Fiend Revisits in the face.
So it looks like jkoper does have the fire cave down, or volcano down, and now he's hitting the ice earth cave to try to catch up to Maya and Green. Probably will not be checking anything else and just going directly to go say hi to Carrie. Or Lich, sorry.
Yep. And he's making sure that he's got the mage staff and the Thor's hammer on his black belt in case he runs into a large pack of enemies where that would be useful. And also a long
Definitely
knife.
did not check the did not check the armor screen either, which is important.
Right.
The long knife definitely a little interesting.
And those wolves are just afraid of Mr. Iron Fist there. They're getting right the heck out of that battle.
Definitely,
Yeah.
and they're going to run because the level that the black belt is in at this point, because they're basically just saying, we scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will end up being a pretty common theme for most of the random encounters up until probably water cave or air cave, I think.
Yeah,
So,
even
but we do
before
have the
randomization-
NFL bat.
Even before randomization, wolves have fairly low, what's that stat called? Fairly low morale, I guess you could call it.
So, for the people who are just joining us, all of our runners are in go mode. What that basically means is they have all the items that are required or that you have to go searching for to be able to beat the game. The reason that you're not seeing the cube lit up, which is the bottom right-hand corner of each one of these trackers, is they go visit a robot, they say hi to the robot gives them a cube, and then they go from there. But the
And we
nice
will be
thing is
seeing that
they are-
shortly on Green's screen up in the top right.
Exactly. Green will be seeing it. We also had our first chance to see our favorite bat, my favorite bat, the man, the myth, the legend, Out of Bounds Bat.
Indeed, will we see GreenCleric check for out of bounds bat? No!
That's it. Not
No.
validated. He
Denying
loses.
the out of bounds bat.
Game over. He's done. Cut him off. Ice Blue cut his stream. He's done. Obviously, we're only kidding, chat. But definitely, we'd like to see Out of Bounds Bat. If you do have that emote, please spam chat.
An interesting find here in the waterfall cave, a sun sword. So the best non-mass immune weapon that you're going to find for your fighter in the game if you do not find that tail.
So, what do you guys think? Where Koper took the chance to grind his black belt up to such a high level, which basically gave a little bit of a head start to Maya. Do you think he's gonna catch up to that, or do you think Maya has a chance of keeping ahead?
It's funny you said that right as jkoper punched Lich in the face and got out of Earth Cave. So, it's almost what lead at this point.
I have high confidence that the black belt strategy is going to pay off, and the reason I say that is because I've seen it pay off. When we did the randomizer marathon, I believe there was a 4-way race, and Tristal set a new record for the randomizer using exactly the strat that jkoper is using right now, and it paid off because they were in go mode before you got to the volcano. And that was the key thing that tipped it.
And huge decision there by jkoper. He decided to pick up a couple gold bracelets, which means he may indeed be revisiting that armor screen.
Yep, based on where he put them, it looks like he bought them for the mages that will presumably be revived more than likely before the TOFR dive. I very much expect to see solo black belt running through Water Shrine and Water Cave and Air Cave. And
There
then
you go.
before we go to the Cave of Fiends of Past, we will see the 3 red and white members of the party get picked up off of the ground.
Another ribbon, and the big thing about that ribbon being in that chest is that's typically a chest that is checked by all runners, because you're not taking steps out of your way. It is right there.
Yep, very true. A very high probability that we're going to see at least 3 of the 4 runners checking that chest. jkoper might skip it, given his strategy, but the other 3 presumably will actually check that one.
jkoper did check the vampire chest and was rewarded with the white shirt for that.
Okay, so we could also see jkoper check it since it's it's only a couple steps out of the way. And here on GreenCleric's screen, we see one of the currently not that bad of an unrunnable encounter to get in the water cave. However, look out for this encounter on round 3 and past, as those red sahags could be absolute nightmares. Maya opting, it looks like, to go air cave before water cave. And checking the chest in Mirage, maybe looking for a second ribbon that he would find right along the way had he chosen to go water cave first.
And if anyone's wondering why jkoper and other runners, of course, but jkoper was just showing it, why he was hopping in and out of the water rapidly, it's because when you change to getting in the canoe or getting out of the canoe, you cannot get an encounter. So you'll see them when they're near a river or that little lake that's on the way to Lafine, try and take a route that has them go in and out of the water several times.
And we got Shy going to visit our favorite bat, my favorite bat, out of bounds bat. So what do you think, chat? Think we're going to see some out of bounds bat here?
And to answer Future Sight in the chat, guessing that Maya is looking for a weapon or the tail, his fighter still looks to be using a great axe. We know for a fact if he goes to the waterfall cave to get the cube, he will have the sun sword. So that will be the best weapon that you can get for the fighter that isn't tail required or the mass mune itself. So definitely has on the way better options that he just does not know about right now. So basically just this is going to be a gamble that's not, or maybe not, going to pay off.
Picks up a second pro cape.
Definitely not a bad find for the white. Oh, opting for. Okay, I was going to say opting for it on the fighter would be a little weird, but I would expect that to go down to the white mage, as I would be prior. Oh wait, that's right. He has 2 white mages. Adamant was in the volcano treasure trove, Czar. GreenCleric has finished off the Kraken and is getting ready to head into the tower that's opened by a bell that leads to a floating castle somehow in whatever time period this is. And we're going to see GreenCleric saving the Tyros. Vote in chat. I saw Czar posting the poll. Vote to either kill or save the Tyros.
And it looks like jkoper has invalidated his run for out of bounds.
That's... You see, if you don't look for the out of bounds pat when you're on the solo black belt strategy, then Tiamat 2's Bane becomes 256 out of 256 to hit you through that ribbon. So I mean, this is just bad. This is just bad decision making on jkoper's part.
It's just karma.
Indeed.
And is he gonna grind on the mummies? He's using all his heals here.
I think he's just healing up because he has to run out of here.
That's true. With
Since
no
he didn't
exit,
get
no
any
warp.
kind of exit or warp. Artea pointing out in chat, does he also get Stone Touch? That's very true. We have not seen an enemy with the one instance of Stone Touch yet. That might also find its way into the face of Bin over here for jkoper. Gary Oak guy saying this is hilarious gibberish to me right now. I'll learn though. Zardia in chat, throw that man a Discord link. Please, I invite you to join our Discord. We are full of very welcoming, very helpful individuals who will gladly help you learn this game, whether you just want to learn vanilla and maybe play it with some speed hacks thanks to the randomizer, or whether you actually want to get into the randomizer itself. We've got tons of resources available for new players and plenty of people that are more than willing to help.
And while you're out there, do give our runners a follow. Show them some love. It is September. As well as, they are typically running these games as well as others. They're very active in the community, so definitely show some love. As well as, I'm going to keep throwing you under the bus, Entroper. Show Entroper some love. The more time that he can get to working on this game, he is the lead designer in this game, so definitely help him out.
And of course, don't forget to also give some love to Speed Gaming and Feasel for being absolutely awesome and putting this all together, giving us a platform to present this race to you tonight. Absolutely stand-up guy doing a ton of work for the speedrunning and randomizer community. Cannot thank him enough.
Oh, definitely. Now we have Shy in the Sea Shrine, as well as Koper going to the Sea Shrine. Maya looks like he is going to be going to, the waterfall right now? Yeah.
Maya apparently did actually give us an out-of-bounds bat sighting, being the true champion that he is.
Oh, that's going to give him an edge in this fight with jkoper.
He's going to quickly find the Sun Sword right here, and then be able to basically just jump into stop checking chest and go.
And jkoper running into a ghost encounter, but he's reasonably lucky here in that the ghosts don't have a large amount of hit points, so he's able to take them out with just 2 uses of that mage staff that he made sure to equip.
And
Rypark, thank you so much for 4 months in a row. I'm gonna say it as I would from New England. Rypack, thank ya. The Boston accent comes out.
Let's be honest, it's the inbounds bats that are the bugs. Yeah, Entroper, what are you going to do to fix those bugs for future versions of the randomizer?
Well, actually, there is 1 or 2 bats that really can cause huge issues. There's one in the Earth Cave that can get stuck before the vampire, and there are just a handful of others. I like to keep some of them in there to troll you a little bit, but I don't like people getting trolled for, 15 minutes trying to get a bat out of that long, narrow hallway, so I probably will move some of those bats or remove some of them.
Just put them in the bat party room.
Yeah, that bat party room is pretty happening when you pop in there looking for some treasure.
And Zar boasting that he holds the stun lock record for the tournament. Unfortunately, not enough to give me a chance to come back in that race.
And GreenCleric is the first one to the 4th floor of the Sky Cave. He's choosing the up and left strategy.
I fully support the up and left strategy. I think it's the strategy of champions.
It's similar to my strategy, although I go up and right, so...
And we have GreenCleric on the Bridge of Destiny. So, guys, if you want to see Warmech please send your prayers out to the war mech to summon him to haunt the runners.
So that's going to be a 4% chance for them to see Warmech. We see a lot of Warmech hype. Come on, that's not enough Warmech hype. Chat, you're not throwing enough up there. We need to see some more. Give us some Warmech.
And we have the angry Dorito on GreenCleric's screen right now. I would like the Naochos to just be changed to Nachos.
jkoper running into another pack of ghosts.
Which are actually probably the biggest threat to him with a solo black belt party, as it doesn't matter if you're a high-level black belt, they're still going to punch you for a ton of damage.
Yep.
And this is looking really dicey for jkoper. Oh god, that's going to be a nice gain for Maya here.
That's going to be the huge thing that's going to happen with Koper.
That's
as he
extremely
hits
important.
some additional unrunnable encounters, especially when he gets to Temple of Fiends, the Revisited, and then later levels down here. It's going to be very difficult for him to, when he encounters those multiple unrunnables, to kind of last through it.
Yeah,
It's
it's mainly going to be the big
around.
waters, but jkoper more than likely will not see the waters in TOFR, as I believe both jkoper and Maya do the RNG manipulation for TOFR.
So Telnor, 4% chance. Do I mean per encounter or across the entire bridge? I mean it's across the entire bridge. There is a 4% chance that they will meet the true boss, Warmech.
However, it's very much a fake 4%, as the way the encounter table works is there's 256 entries on the table, and those entries are assigned numbers from 1 to 8 that coincide with which of the 8 encounters for that area you will get. And where Warmech lies is in the 8th position that quote-unquote has a 4% chance to happen, but because of the way the RNG table is distributed, there are very, very long sections where there is not an 8 on the table, and so Warmech is much more rare than 4% actually lends you to believe.
And GreenCleric is finishing up Tiamat, so he's got all the orbs lit.
And running
Looks like
from
he's-
yet another Tyro.
That's right. Looks
So-
like he's got a pretty good lead. Oh, and jkoper, another pack of ghosts, this time 5.
And jkoper, realizing his mistake this time, he used the Thor hammer in the last encounter that we saw instead of the mage staff on the first turn, which is
Yes,
definitely
indeed.
going to be less damage against the undead that are weak against fire.
He's getting a little bit luckier here with a lot of the ghosts missing, so that's going to help him get through this encounter. And with 27,000 experience, he gets another level up to 46.
And Czar pointing out in chat that jkoper found yet another ribbon, so has to seriously be contemplating reviving his team after this dungeon for the run up to Tiamat. Would not be surprised to see that at this stage. So, Entroper, is there any chance that you're going to consider balancing the classes potentially with, like, their hit percent gains or anything like that moving forward to maybe make Thief less trash or make Fighter less kind of overpowered, etc.?
The two tweaks that are possible to see is, one, the Master class, after you upgrade the Black Belt, he gets less magic defense per level after you upgrade him, and there's really no reason for that. That can only be an oversight by the original developers, so that's a thing that we might get fixed. Of course, the Black Belt himself gains more magic defense than any other class, which is a little weird, so I don't know exactly what I'll do there, but I might. Either way, it'll be the same before and after the class change. And yeah, it is possible that the Thief might see a little bit more hit percent gain, because they actually did that in the Game Boy Advance version of the game. They gave Thief a lot more hit percent than Fighter to balance him out a little bit more. He gets more hits near the end of the game than Fighter does.
Which kind of falls into that role of wanting to be the target for getting like hyper buffed and trying to be a crit machine.
Yeah, absolutely. And the critical hits are fixed as well in the Game Boy Advance game.
And we see jkoper punching Kraken in the face, as only he knows how to do.
That's right. It looks like Maya finished off Kraken at pretty much the same time.
Yep, so even with the wipe there, Koper managing to hold parity with Maya, as we have GreenCleric getting what might be the worst encounter in TOFR.
Mm-hmm.
Skepticon in chat proposing that if you have a thief in your party, you should start with the tail in your inventory.
That's not a bad suggestion, since the Thief to the Ninja is definitely the biggest upgrade.
So we're
By
definitely
far.
seeing the Gas Dragon doing his damage on GreenCleric's side. That is one of the nasty unrunnable encounters that you see in the Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Very much so. Only reason we're not going to see a reset here is that we have plentiful access to the life spell, so able to kind of get back up and the Cure 4, so able to get back up and going in decent amount of time here.
We have a thought out there that the Thief lead will pick the lock for the Mystic Key doors.
Except for TOFR.
Looks like jkoper doing a little bit of RNG manipulation before heading into the Desert Cave.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen it done there. Not sure what that leads to.
I believe it just leads to more favorable encounters as he goes through further up the tower.
Yeah, I saw him take
Very
a misstep though, so it's possible he'll get one that he doesn't want anyway.
So as we're doing that, Introper, why can you tell us more about the RNG manipulation?
Yeah, so when you power off the game and power it back on, it resets the random number counter to 0, and every encounter you get will be in a progression in a list. So by doing that and then, getting a couple of encounters, resetting the game, when you reset the game, it doesn't reset that counter. It's only when you power off the game. So you can manipulate the counter by powering it off, and then you take a few easy encounters outside and reset the game, and then get to a position in the list where you want to be. And then as you go through the dungeon, you'll only get the encounters that you want to get. You can skip some of the nastier ones. Of course, if you step in a few places that you didn't intend to step, then you kind of screw up your run. You take more steps than you wanted to get through the place, and you can end up getting wrong encounters.
Something notable of that you will see if the runners on the bottom do the TOFR manipulation is on the, I believe, second floor of TOFR, stopping before they go down the steps to the third floor and walking around to get a Chimera Gemera encounter, because you are specifically looking for that encounter so that you don't take it on the next floor where it would actually be really, really bad.
Looks like Shy's having a little bit of fun with us with the memes. That is not out of character with Shy. Shy is typically found in the chat, not only goofing and memeing, but also coming up with some pretty interesting analogies.
And we see jkoper on the Bridge of Destiny now. He did have that misstep, but he did the RNG manipulation, so it's unlikely that we'll see a war mech for him.
Yeah, very true. That power cycle might have just been to avoid a war mech.
Right. And interestingly, he did take a diagonal right and up strategy on the previous 4th floor.
I just wish I cannot wait for round 2 for the dream to be alive to fight Warmac. Is there any way that we can put Warmac in other areas, as the chat has been asking earlier?
Warmac in every encounter table.
Yeah, encounters are one of the trickier things to mess with. You could definitely change. And Maya doing a strat I've never seen before. He goes right 1 and then up 2 and then right 1. As I was saying before that, though, you can definitely, change the probabilities of encounters, and you can move entire encounters around. But what's difficult to do is to, create new encounters with different combinations of enemies. And the reason is because the game stores sprite sheets that have... It just loads 1 sprite sheet per battle, and a sprite sheet has 2 small enemies and 2 large enemies. And so those enemies grouped together are the only ones that can stay grouped together. So if you want to create new encounters, new mixes of enemies, you have to create new mixes of sprite sheets. And of course, different encounters use the same sprite sheets, so then if you change up a sprite sheet, then you've changed more than 1 encounter, and it gets really hard to keep track of.
Okay. No, definitely. Thank you. And we got Maya on the Bridge of Destiny. Let's see how this plays out for him. Let's see if he can live the dream. We've already saw the out of bounds bat on his side. Now he is just missing killing a Tyro to feed us some Tyro steaks. But he is pro, let them live in a War Mech appearance.
And I believe Maya had the second confirmed War Mech kill of the tournament, so he's not opposed to fighting it if he finds it. And Future Sight in chat saying, just make it a 100% chance to run into a War Mech if you kill a Tyro. I can 100% support that.
So interestingly, in the later games, like in FF5 and others, they have large enemy encounters near the end of the game, like Omega, and it's a sprite walking around on the map, and you only fight him if you want to. There's no chance that you'll encounter him. You can just walk up to him and fight him if you want. And I had an idea that we could do that for Warmech. We could take one of the robot sprites from the Sky Cave, put it on maybe the 4th floor, and have him wander around there. And if you want to fight him, go walk up to him and smash him in the face.
That sounds fantastic.
Now, would there be a way to reward the runners who did that by increasing his experience?
It would be hard to increase his experience. I think he's already pushing the limit of if you do the 5x plus 500 experience multiplier, then he's almost to the point where he'll overflow the experience. So I think it's been suggested that instead of the 5x being a multiplier, that we simply reduce the requirements for leveling by 5x, so that you need only 1/5 the amount of experience to gain a level.
That would definitely be pretty cool, and then we can incentivize certain, or then you may be able to incentivize certain encounters. And we see jkoper going through and starting to set up the RNG manipulation.
And he revived his party and visited the armor screen, so that may have an adverse effect on his black belt. I'm not sure if he opted to equip the black belt with anything for the rundown, since being level 46 or something, not the greatest chance that you're going to see that black belt gain another level for this run.
Indeed, and we've got GreenCleric. He's already on the water floor, cleaning up some waters, so he's getting pretty far through the... what we're going to call this, the Cave of Fiends Revisited.
Yeah, the Cave of Fiends of the past.
Of the past.
Anonicus asks in chat, is it hard to change enemy drops? For example, I think it would be cool if a monster could have a guaranteed drop of a key item instead of finding it in a chest. I'll I'll say one thing before tossing it over to Entroper, and that's that no enemy in the game drops an item. So, might not be possible, but Entroper would know better than I would.
Yeah, exactly. The game just wasn't built to have encounters drop items at all, and that's actually the reason why, instead of, in later games when you open a chest, it says there's monsters in the chest, and you fight the monsters, and then you get what's in the chest. But in this game, they spiked the tiles in front of the chests, which creates sort of a weird side effect where, you can fight Lich 2, Carry 2, Kraken 2, Tiamat 2. You can fight them over and over again if you want to. I don't know why anybody would, but that's just the way it was programmed. So it is fairly difficult to make encounters drop new items. And jkoper is stuck on the title screen.
Well, what he did is he tried to do the RNG manipulation, but then from that, his first fight back was a gas dragon, which has given Maya a chance to catch up.
That's right. And Maya's doing the manipulation right now.
Yep, so if I remember right, after power off, you reset away from 3 counters outside of TOFR, or outside of the Cave of Fiends, and then you reset away from 6 encounters inside the Tower of... Actually, I believe you reset away from 5 and you run from the 6th, and then you continue.
Well, we will find out here. If this first fight is it is Frost Dragons.
And I believe that's what it's supposed to be?
It is. It's going to go Frost Dragons and Chimera Chimeras. And I believe it's going to be Chimera Chimeras on the next level.
Yeah, because you take extra steps to make sure that you get that encounter on the next level.
And then you'll see Bad Men on the following level.
Okay.
jkoper has revived the rest of his party, so he's taking it a little more cautiously through here. And he's got the Frosties, so he's got it right this time.
Alright, so it looks like both players have the manipulation correct this time. So it's all going to come down.
See, because Frost Dragons are one of the more common encounters, and he did get that encounter right about the same time, if not a little bit before Maya did. So let's find out here what happens. If this is Chimera Chimera, then yes, it's looking like he is on the right one. And Bad Men by Maya.
Okay. And shyleasia is finishing off Tiamat just as GreenCleric runs into Tiamat 2, so quite the lead there.
And we see 5 hits for 5 damage from the Black Belt against Tiamat 2.
Yeah, he's got the highest absorb.
Shy showing the true colors.
jkoper and Maya fighting the Phantom at the same time. It is as neck and neck as it could possibly be.
Alright, so Maya with about a half a floor lead here. Definitely is going to be losing time with every fight against bosses.
Right now it's going to be at what encounter, not the encounter that they get, because they're both going to be on the same encounters. It's just what spells they roll and how fast they can run away.
I honestly think that the race between Koper and Maya is really going to come down to, does Koper's black belt get Bane through that ribbon? I want to say that's
Stone Touch.
Possibly, from what?
Chimera Chimeras.
Ooh, okay, that's a fight that they're going to see a couple of times through this dungeon. So, ooh, notable that jkoper got Frost Dragons there when I believe he's supposed to get a worm. So Koper may be off of the manipulation route.
That was his second fight on that level.
Okay, I didn't see Maya get Frost Dragons there. I must have missed it.
Koper is a level ahead of Maya at that point. Maya got stuck on the Chimera Chimeras.
Yeah, I saw jkoper punch the worm in the face, and Maya's fighting the 2 worms now.
Okay. I got a little bit behind then.
And Coper's gonna punch Lich in the face.
It's going to
So
be
Green
interesting.
Cleric
if Lich
finding a
has
worm
some-
encounter after Tiamat 2, unfortunately.
Not as bad as the Iron Golems that I managed to find in 2 of my 3 races starting the tournament.
Yeah. Not as bad as getting translocked by sorcerers.
That's what Zar got in race 3.
Exactly.
So
And
an
we
expected
have
unrunnable encounter.
GreenCleric going into Chaos first here, with no White Mage available. Trenton, yes, we did see Stone Touch. It was on either the Chimera or the Chimera. Not sure which.
Coper picking up that dragon armor before heading towards Carry.
You need to take a fight on this floor anyways. So,
There you go.
I guess just decided to say whatever, check for maybe the Power Glove.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh, Joker. Apparently the Chimera did not have Stone Touch, it had Poison, which stoned a character.
Okay,
So we
I
have
just
not
saw
seen
that
Stone
it
Touch
was
yet.
stoned. My apologies.
Alright, so Stone Touch still in play, possibly. Ooh, 3 hits for 14 damage against Chaos. I saw Empty Eye poking around in the chat, loving the low damage rolls. His favorite thing.
Chaos
Cure
with the Cure
4.
4. So we know he's got that early.
Well,
As
the
well
script- the
as
scripts
slow
aren't
to
shuffled.
the. Yeah, he did end up
Oh,
putting
right, the
slow
scripts aren't
on the warrior.
Ooh. And losing the fighter to the crack. But a solid punch from the black belt, and I believe we have the black mage getting ready to start throwing some damage himself with the nuke spell. And it's going to come down real close here, because that black mage is starting to get real low.
Yeah, I think he's safe. And there it is.
And there it is! GreenCleric finishes in first place and advances to round 2 of the winner's bracket with an SRL official time of 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 57 seconds. Congrats to GreenCleric on advancing to round 2, and we will see shyleasia down in the Garland bracket.
It's looking like Coper has now hit the Tiamat 2's level revisited. Just about to hit Tiamat 2.
Yep, that overleveled black belt paying dividends. We're gonna see the Great Equalizer right here. Does that Bane go through the ribbon? We saw it happen to Edgeworth in a over-leveled black belt race. Will we see it again?
There it is,
No.
right there.
So with that, this race is jkoper's to lose.
jkoper casting fast on the fighter rather than the black belt because the black belt doesn't need it.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw like 1900 damage. We overkilled Tiamat on a maximum HP roll, so it didn't really matter.
Shy hitting some bad luck with hitting another gas dragon.
ETAP saying in chat, overleveled black belts can't pay in anything less than $100 bills. It might be $1,000 bills. I don't know, man. And Coper
Yes,
wisely moving that black belt down to the bottom.
We'll throw some hype these runners' ways, especially for having it be such a close race, and it is very exciting. It's looking like, unless Chaos decides to throw a Cure 4 his own way before Coper can attack again, it might be a lights out good night for Chaos.
Yeah, I think it's going to end this round, no matter what. Because his black belt's fast now, and he already did over 1,000 damage the previous round.
Oh yeah, that
3,100
that hit
damage. That's over the maximum hit points that Chaos could possibly have.
And jkoper also one-shotting Chaos.
So let's wait to see. I don't know if we're going to be seeing GreenCleric to talk to us. Hopefully we will. We'll be reaching out to him, as well as Koper and Maya and Shy when they finish.
And we have jkoper finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 28 seconds.
I have to say how impressed I am with these runners at how consistently they're able to race, because we've got four players that are all in the Temple of Fiends revisited at the same time, and in a game as random as Final Fantasy 1, even before the randomizer, add randomization on top of that, and they still seem to get to the end at nearly the same time. So these guys really know what they're doing.
And we did see some different strategies, too, all
That's right.
being fairly equal with each other. And Zardia pointing out in chat that jkoper will advance to race Chitin 619, and GreenCleric will advance to race Tristal MTG.
And that'll be Tristal's first appearance in this tournament, is that right? Because I believe he's the only one who got a bye in the first round.
So, do apologize. I pulled GreenCleric into us immediately when I saw him there. I got a little excited. How you doing?
But you are correct on that, Entroper, by the way.
Okay.
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we got you, GreenCleric.
Okay, good.
Congratulations and GG's.
Thank you.
So,
Ow.
I'm going to lead off with the normal question of what was going through your mind when you got into go mode that early, and then you hit the hour 30, hour 20, facing these runners that you were, and realizing that, no one has finished yet.
Well, no, Fred. Only racing against one person. I didn't know what was going on in the other race. Obviously, I'm a little surprised I actually finished first on that one. Go mode was really quick. I kind of got lucky a bit. Good guess where the TNT was. Tried Temple of Fiends. It worked. But, going through the seed, it was go mode pretty early. Didn't really have horrible luck with RNG up until TOFR, which got a little dicey, especially near the end. But, everything just came together. I was looking near the end, even I visited the island just trying to see, could I find maybe Power Glove? Could I find Mazmoon? Something like that. But somehow it all worked out on that one.
No, definitely. And what you went with? What made you choose your party makeup?
I think I just wanted to have the bases covered on this one. Really, I don't know. I don't mind Red Mage, but at the same time, sometimes it depends on, spells that are available. I think in this seed, it might have been, not exactly sure how it would have gone, but I just want to have the bases covered with the magic. Unfortunately, Fade and Uke were both level 7, even though I picked them up, but I want my bases covered. Definitely want to try get exit to make sure I had exit if possible. Try save a little bit of time here and there. So I was kind of going for maybe a little more speed on that one. But again, it's just personal preference. Obviously, we're going to avoid thieves unless we absolutely have to have them. But just want to balance as much as I can.
Indeed, and we actually did see the decision to take a white mage over a red mage did result in one having a lack of exit versus the other not, as you found exit at level 6, and warp was definitely locked somewhere in the either level 7 or 8, as we did not see any of the red mages across the streams pick it up at all. So,
I'm pretty sure it was 8. I didn't check the level 8 magic shops, but it had to have been 8.
Yep, yeah, so definitely a good call on opting for the white mage there. And we have a question from Skepticon for you. What is going to be your plan for going up against Tristal? Are you going to do some big gambles if they are available?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the problem is, I won this, which I'm really happy with, but now you're facing the number 1 seed, so it's like, jeez. Aside from Prey, I mean, honestly, I think my first match, I'm not going to change anything. I mean, I'm just going to go in, I'm going to see how it goes. Anything can happen, I'll see how it goes. But first match against him, I don't really think I'm going to be taking any gambles or whatever. I'm actually going to be pretty happy to face someone of that skill level. I want to see how I do and see if practice is going to pay off.
Alright, and we are also joined by jkoper now. jkoper, congratulations on securing your round 2 position in the winner's bracket.
GG, jkoper.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, GreenCleric. It looks like you were the real winner of the pseudo race here, but yeah, it was interesting. I felt like there wasn't much option here in the seed. Once I had all the things for a go mode, just look for a ribbon and grind away, because it wasn't worth looking for stuff to keep the other guys alive for the whole time and whatever, make them useful.
Yeah, we actually saw you going for the solo black belt strat until just before TOFR.
Definitely, Coper. And was that early, when you got that ribbon, did that just set it in stone that you were going to do the solo grind? And by the way, congratulations as well.
Right, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sums it up. I think that I'm not a big fan of the solo strats too much. I mean, even though I've done solo runs of this game, I don't think the randomizer is terribly interesting when you play it this way. But so I haven't played the game this way that much, and I think that I definitely learned some things this way.
Oh no, it definitely paid off as you were one hitting everyone.
Yeah, but like the question, of course, is always like, when do you revive your party, and where do you want the help from the other party members? I think the safer thing probably would have been to revive the party for the Sea Shrine. But I wouldn't have wiped in the Sea Shrine if I would have just I accidentally used Thor on the ghosts instead of the mage staff the second time, and then it didn't kill one of them. I think that if I would have used mage, that I would have survived that fight, and then everything would have been fine. So I would have not wiped there, and then the only other real mistake that I had was screwing up the Temple of Fiends Revisited, and then I was like, man, after I reset, it's like, maybe I should have just continued. I could have probably taken the Gas Dragons with the Ice 3s, or at least tried it, but I was just upset with myself for forgetting what I was doing. Yeah, now we don't have to worry about that stupid RNG manipulation, because round 1 is over, at least for me, so...
Indeed, and we did see that wipe to the ghosts, which were probably at that stage about the only thing that could threaten your solo black belt, giving Maya a bit of a chance to make it. You guys were pretty much, photo finish coming out of Kraken there, but then you clearly made up time with the one punch strategy Zara asked in chat if there is any adjustments that you will make for the round 2 flags, or if you will still be bringing a plethora of hats as we are used to seeing.
I don't expect to make any changes. I don't think that the flags in the next rounds call for adjustments to the party or anything. I like, you know, there's definitely some merit to, having the white and black mage and making sure you get all the spells that you want. But I feel like it's worth the little chance that you take and just taking whatever comes to you as red mage. Man, this level 1 and I think it was level 3 in this seed were really tough for buying spells. Like I immediately regretted what I had bought in both cases. So
yeah, we did see them pretty stacked for both level 1 and level 3 for white and black, so definitely a little bit hard to navigate for the red mages.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to have fast on just one guy typically, and I wouldn't want to have just life on one guy typically, but I already had heal 3 and lit 2 on those 2 red mages to begin with, but I don't really regret buying either of those spells. I used both of them a ton, so I think it kind of worked out, but it just made me a bit nervous. And level 3, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I did buy wall on both of them, didn't I? Never used it.
Yeah, I saw you do that as soon as you got to Elfland and was wondering about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess for this, once I had the one ribbon, maybe wall wasn't as necessary in these sorts of strats, but if you're going with a full party typical strategy, then wall is definitely helpful to be a supplement to whatever ribbons you have, so that you can try to keep the whole party alive through any tough battles.
And we see Maya here in the Chaos fight definitely having a little bit of problem. We've seen at least one Cure 4 out of Chaos so far, and doing pretty much whatever he can to just throw extra little bits of damage from all mages in the party via the Mage Staff, the Thor Hammer, the Red Mage throwing his spell charges in. Seems like Maya may be struggling a little bit to get enough damage to close this fight off.
I don't know why anyone would voluntarily not use a black belt in pretty much any flags in this randomizer. Like, you can say you want to give yourself variety or something, but it's just like, I don't know, if you don't care about winning, basically.
It does seem like the gamble to go fighter is basically, I want to try to get the time advantage from not grinding, but it's really gear dependent and often tail dependent to have it pay off. And we do see Maya getting Chaos down with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 5 seconds.
And with style points as well, with a lit 2.
Yeah, that is such an unattractive option for fighting Chaos, using any of those AoE items or spells generally. Other than Nuke or Fade, almost nothing does any damage to him, like more than 50. So yeah, that's a rough go of things right there.
And we did have Maya with the definitely interesting party strat of double white mage. 58 minutes and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And with style points as well, with a lit 2.
The heavy mages here. Yeah, I don't know. That is such an unattractive option. What justified that? Like, I did a double white mage recently when we had Fade at level 1. But, yeah, that's about the only time that I'll do that.
Yep, so we now have Shyleasia, the last of the 4 racers, in the Chaos fight. So definitely very good timings across all the 4 racers, all being in TOFR at the same time, all finishing pretty much one after another.
Cooper, I have to ask. I saw the German names. I did a quick translate that it was I am 1-3.
Well,
I could have typed
What
it
is-
wrong. My German is not the best. I openly admit that.
I mean the one is just an article. That's like a or
And.
the whatever. Yeah. So 3 because this was the 3rd race, and because I was having trouble coming up with something that I mean it didn't necessarily have to be creative or anything, but I wanted something that would fit in 4 characters.
Oh no, I just saw it. I thought I would ask because I remember the first one was I am victorious. If you place the third and fourth together as well. So
Wait,
Maya,
what's that?
the first one, I think you with how you spelled
Hello.
your name, it was I am victorious. One of your runs with that, I can't remember, but Maya,
Oh,
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
last
you.
race I said I am a win or something. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, good game, Maya.
Yeah, good game to you too, jkoper. I hope everybody enjoyed the double white mage strats. That was actually a PB for me. So I'm kind of proud of it, to be honest.
Really, I
Congrats.
had a PB on my end too, which just goes to show how powerful the black belt grinding is, because that's what I did. So,
You also have a PB?
Yes, I
Oh
did.
god, that definite
Oh.
PB, definite
So,
PB on
3
that.
PBs. And we are seeing Shy with Fighter and Black Mage down, and Black Belt on Death's Door here, getting off a crit, and then losing the Black Belt to a Fire 3 spell. And it does look like Shyleasia has forfeited from the race.
Oh.
that's too bad.
Yeah, definitely solo White Mage left against Chaos. It's going to be definite reset there. So we will go pull Shy in and have all 4 racers for comments here. Shy, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks. I tried my best when I was in go mode, but I still picked up some chests. I think I was grinding a bit too much, to be honest.
Shy, good job. Yeah, you did a great run. So do not hang your head on any of your runs. So definitely keep it up, and definitely keep those memes coming in the chat.
Definitely doing the wonderful work of saving the Tyros.
Looking at everyone's board, and I don't see anyone with the tail. So I'm assuming that was not found this game.
I didn't find it.
Yep, with super duper early go mode and a couple ribbons not terribly far out of the way, not too many people looked for the tail at all. Did have the Sun Sword, so outside of the Mass Immune, you had the best sword you're going to have access to.
The tail is one of those emergent gameplay features that isn't something I thought about when developing the randomizer, but turns out to be a really important thing because it could literally be anywhere, and it's not something you'd necessarily want to find, but it depends on the mix of other things that you found as well to see whether it's going to be useful or not.
No, definitely. And then Maya, I do believe we've asked a couple of this, but what were you as you were hitting the hour 30, hour 40
Sure.
mark when before Coper got done? What was going through your head, and what were you thinking when you knew that it was early go mode?
You know, when it's early go mode, you never really know, I guess, where your opponent is going to. I mean, jkoper's a great runner, and so I assumed he was in front of me. But you know, you play the seed that's in front of you, and I was confident that with my party composition going into Temple of Fiends Revisited, I was not at all concerned I wasn't going to be able to finish. It was just a matter of whether I got in first or got in second. With my party composition, I was not concerned that anything was going to kill me. And so, you know, you just kind of take a deep breath, and with every floor that you get in, you kind of look to see, well, is the other person done or not? And jkoper, you know, got done dead around my earth floor or something like that, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoyed it. I had a really fun race. It's fun for the audience to watch.
No, definitely. Chat did stay very interactive. They were having a lot of fun and enjoying the stream. So definitely thank you guys. All hats off to you guys. You guys made the run what it was. Without you guys doing this, obviously we wouldn't be here. So I can't say thank you enough.
To say thank you to Entroper since he's online. I mean, this is all his fault. What he's doing, really. So thank you to you, Entroper, for this beautiful thing that you've unleashed on us. It's been a lot of fun helping to run this tournament. So hats off to you, sir.
Well, and hats off to you for helping to run it, because the more exposure this gets, the more it makes me want to keep working on it. So I very much appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very
Did
much
you
Peace to everybody.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, jkoper.
I saw that that Entroper was listed as a commentary. Did he actually commentate a lot, or I hope that he was able to provide some fun insight into the randomizer here.
Absolutely, yeah.
definitely-
We took a bunch of technical questions, and it was
I
great
definitely
having
encourage you to
Entroper
listen
here.
back, yeah, because we use this as kind of a partial interview as well as walking and going through and watching you guys. So I do highly encourage it.
Yeah,
Nice.
some of the parts of the run, like when most people were grinding on Agamas, was a great time for those kinds of questions. So it worked out great.
Good deal. You know how much I appreciate this, how much I appreciate you doing this. So
Yep. Thank you for opening up Pandora's box.
Indeed.
Well, the very first time that I play tested the first version of this randomizer, I went into the Temple of Fiends and I opened one treasure chest, and it was the floater. And at that moment, I knew, yes, I've done something cool. So.
I think it's a good time to let Feasel get on with his evening and wrap things up. GG to my 3 competitors. I really enjoyed it.
Not a problem. Thanks to you guys as well for commentating. Like I said, like you said, everyone had a great time tonight, and that's the important thing. So thanks to everyone for showing up, and yeah.
Definitely give our runners a follow. They busting their tails. We are obviously not done with this. We do have more Final Fantasy 1 randomizer to come. So definitely big shout out to them. Give them a follow. Do check back with Speed Gaming 2. We're definitely going to be having some more races showcased on this, as well as do join our Discord. Very warm welcoming. Again, thank you to Shy, Coper, Maya, GreenCleric. You guys have done great jobs. It was a pleasure listening and watching, as well as big shout out to Entroper and Azrael for helping out and allowing me to join you guys in the commentary booth.
As always, and yeah, absolutely ton of fun and very awesome to have Entroper join us here tonight. Not very often that you get to have the lead designer of your randomizer featured in your commentary for one of your races, so definitely an awesome experience to have happen.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm finally able to be here for this. I missed the first couple weeks of it because I was moving and then I was on vacation and didn't have internet access and all that. So, yeah, I'm really excited that this has been going on, and I plan to stick around for a lot of the rest of it.
Yup, and for those who have not noticed in chat or who happen to be hanging out in the Discord, we do have a race getting ready to start. Just for a casual fun race for the community right after we get done with this broadcast. So feel free to head on over in the IRC and join up if you want to.
Okay, guys, then I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and everybody have a great evening.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Thanks again. See you guys.
Night, guys.
Everybody have a good night.